Bam, coming in hot, Chinchy. What's going on, brother?
Good to have you back, bro. Good to have you back.
Good to be back, dude. Dad's grinding right now. I was at the hospital all day yesterday in the ER, literally from my dad called me at 11:45 with a panic. I picked him up. We went to the hospital. We were there till 11 a.m. yesterday. So appreciate you and Lambuski covering a little football and stuff you guys did, man. So
of course, life first.
Yeah.
Right? Life goes first.
Yeah, exactly. Family first, life first. Let's go.
Yeah, all right. But then we did have baseball games. Life does go on in other places.
Yes, my dad and I watched the games yesterday. So that was good. Yeah, man.
Good
yeah, there was just some great games. What was your take on some of the,
Well, let's start Phillies Padres. Let's not be too East Coast biased here. Let's start on the left coast, man, dude.
Yeah.
After Philly won that first game, I was like, whoa. Whoa. But the Padres, they definitely, and now you're down 4-2 in the second inning of game 2. Things look very, very bleak. But you know what? You come back, you hang in there. Blake Snell hung in there after being shaky.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. You got to give Blake Snell a lot because, giving up that 4 spot in the second, he grinds it out through 5 and allows that offense to kind of get going. And, when you go back to that game, Chinch, those deadline deals that A.J. Preller made, to go get Soto was one of the biggest deals in baseball history probably. But the 2 other guys he got Josh Bell in that deal and also Brandon Drury in that deal from the Reds that was kind of like, on the low end of the radar. Right. People weren't thinking about that Drury. Listen, man, this guy can hit. He should have been an all-star this year for the Reds, just missed the cut. But, he comes up. They drove in 6 of the runs. So those guys, that they got to get them to the postseason and now hopefully get them to the World Series, they drove in 6 of the 8 runs yesterday. So that was huge, man. That's a big that's a big plus. And, that lineup, when they get hot, they had 13 hits yesterday, a lot of good at-bats. And, to put that 5 spot up in the 5th, really took the game back and got the crowd really back into it. When Drury went deep in the second and then Bell hit a back-to-back, that got the crowd back in the game. Because nothing worse than the Phillies getting the 4 spot and taking the crowd out of it. That could have been a nightmare.
That could have been a nightmare. And it was so early. So it's like, that could be one of those games. You know what? That reminds me, dude, worst baseball game I've ever gone to in my life. Yankees, Rangers, Yankee Stadium, elimination game. I don't know if it was an ALDS or ALCS. Remember when Cliff Lee threw like a 1-hit complete game and the Yankees got 2 base runners? Me and my 2 cousins, Andrew and Matthew, we're there with a couple of their friends. Dude, there was a group. It must have been like a sales team took a trip to New York to go to the playoff games from Arlington or wherever. Right. These guys were animals. There were 20 of them. They were 7 rows behind us, up against the wall, and they were just going off on Yankees fans for literally 9 innings. And the Yankees only got 1 or 2 hits. I don't remember. It was Cliff Lee's. It was one of the greatest playoff performances ever. So there was not the biggest cheer was when somebody got a walk in the 6th. I'm not kidding. And then once they scored a couple more runs and it was over, these dudes behind us were going so bananas, and then they just started throwing popcorn at everybody. Thought there was going to be the biggest brawl in the history of Yankee Stadium, but luckily it didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
But dude, that's where
you don't want to do
you
that
take a crowd out of the game. You take but that was one of those games where the crowd was just out of it for the entire game.
I saw on Instagram the other day. Did you see that fight? There was a fight in Cleveland, I believe.
Yes.
With couple Yankee fans. What's with people? Lay off the booze one time. Let's go.
Yeah, dude. All right.
Pulls the guy down the. What is he? They start fighting, and the guy's like, "That's it." He pulls the Yankee fan, I think, down 3 rows. Yeah. You just hate to see the violence like that. Dude, it's a game. At the end of the day, it's a game. These guys go home. It is what it is. We're all fired up. It's about the city, but what are we fighting for? Clean it up.
Yeah, the only
shit together.
It's funny when you get older. The only time I would ever throw a punch again is in self-defense in the rest of my life.
Right.
When you're a kid, you kind of there's just a testosterone idiot kid boy thing back in the day when you had to duke it out for respect. Yeah. But you get older and you're like, what? I'm gonna break my thumb or something.
Yeah, dude, I don't want to fight anybody. I don't want to fight anybody. My buddy who I went to the Steeler game with the other day, Kevin Mahoney, who was a Gold Glove boxer back in the day. And he said a few years ago, probably this is a few years ago, it's probably 10 years ago. He was in his late 30s, I think, at the time. young kid came up to carjack him in Baltimore, and he's like, all right, so he could tell the kid was nervous, but he's like, I'm not going to give up my life. So the guy had it looked like an object in his coat. So my buddy Mahoney gets out. This guy's a beauty too, Kevin. Such a funny dude. He gets out of the car, and the guy's like about to get in his car, and then Mahoney realizes the kid has a knife.
Oh my God!
So Mahoney wrist grabs this poor bastard. Boom! Knocks him out.
That's
so
cool.
Cold. Gets back in his car, drives off.
Those are the stories you like hearing. Like, you never know who you're messing with. That's the other thing. This day and age, so many people take like jujitsu and all that shit. Like, you could walk up to the smallest dude in the world and he could hit you 17 times before you even know what's going on.
Bro, you have no idea who you're dealing with. Yeah, you don't know who's in a UFC class, and they've done it like 8 years in a row. And these wrestlers, too. Some of these wrestlers, they get a hold of you, like, you can't move.
Dude, my brother is a perfect example. He freaking trained in jiu-jitsu with, who's the guy we had? With the Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
With Gracie.
Gracie. Yeah, and Gracie's, too. And my brother's 5'7" and like 150 pounds. He's the scariest person I've ever been around. I'm not kidding. He's nuts. And he's
oh, my God.
Anyway, all right, I digress.
That's true.
Let's keep talking fighting, though, but fighting Phils, huh?
Oh yeah,
you like that transition?
Nice segue,
Thanks,
bro.
I'm getting good. We gotta give credit to Bryce Harper. I mean, he is dominating this postseason. He's dominating in the postseason, even though they lost yesterday.
First postseason too. I believe this is Harper's first postseason, isn't it?
Well, no. Was he on those Nats teams?
Oh no, he was. Yeah. No, he did play a little bit in the postseason against the Giants, and I think. Well, but anyway, at the end of he did. But at the end of the day, this is Bryce Harper, man. This is I love watching him play. He's just one of my favorite players, dude. I just love the way he plays the game. And when you watch him and how he goes about his business, he has an extra base hit in 7 straight games, which is a postseason record. He hits righties, hits lefties. He's such a tough out, and he comes up big in big spots. You go back even last night, they came and put up that 5 spot. I think Harper leads off the inning or 1 out in the inning in the 6th. Hits a rocket off the fence. He's like, let's go. And it's just so Bryce Harper, to show up and have good at bats. Yeah. Well, dude, for me, he's must see TV. I just love it.
I agree.
He's first pitch hacking. He's looking to ambush first pitch. He just puts together good at bats. It's awesome. And thank goodness for the DH Chinch, because if not, that elbow, he's playing with a blown out UCL. Yeah. If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have seen Bryce Harper at all this postseason this season.
How about this? In 5 years, okay, so he's played 7 postseason series. 2012, 14.
Okay, there
16,
it is. Yes.
17. Yeah, they just they got knocked out a lot all the time. Here's his numbers though: 271 batting average in the postseason, and that's what he dropped a 130 in his first at 19 years old. He was 3 for 23. Since then, 294, 235, 2. He's got 9 postseason home runs. 9.
Yeah,
and he has 5 of them this year. He's got 5 homers in the postseason so far.
Yeah. Dude, he shows up, man. He's clutch.
He's clutch. When you say must see TV, I agree. You got to stop and watch his at bats because he swings different, he looks different, and when he gets a hold of it, I mean, he can hit him as far as Aaron Judge and
anybody. He's got big time power. Yeah, and he's got that beard. He looks a little intimidating too. It just looks like God. He's going to eat my face off.
His dad's jacked.
His dad's so jacked. Yeah.
One other fun story. What were you going to say?
Yeah. I was saying his dad. I think I was in the one of the. I think it was the All-Star game or maybe it was one of the postseason series at some point when he was with the Nats. I was in there and his dad was in there lifting. I was like, man, I want to look like you. I think his name's Ron Harper. I was like, I want to look like you, brother, when it's all done.
I know he's
when it's all said and done.
One last fun story, and this is the Nola brothers. That's pretty crazy, man. 2 brothers,
dude.
Imagine being those parents. I always wonder, how do you root for that game? What do you do? You're a dad.
Yeah.
If your 2 kids were playing each other, who do you root for? It's different. They're both offense. You want them both to go 4 for 4, and you don't care who wins. But
yeah, did you see that their dad was wearing a Phillies 2 jerseys? He had a Phillies jersey on and a Padres jersey, and a Padres hat. That's got to be tough, dude. It's got to be cool though. I guess when they first squared off. The first time Aaron Nola and Austin Nola, because Austin Nola was in the minors for 7 years, dude. Like he was about to quit baseball.
Yep.
He was about to be done. Like Aaron Nola was a top draft pick in the big leagues in a year and a half. Austin Nola, his older brother, spent 7 years in the minors, was about to leave baseball and go with his dad's construction company and just, quit the game. And then he got called up and, now he's doing great. And, last year, I think when they faced each other, I think Aaron punched him out or something. And at Christmas time, I can't remember what he gave him, but he gave him like a lump of coal or something in the stomach or something. So they were joking about because that was a huge at bat yesterday. Austin Nola, got a 0-2, I don't know if it was 0-2, 1-2 pitch, fastball up over the plate, hits a rocket to right center, drives in Kim, who was on a hit and run. Yeah. It was an unbelievable part of the game. And, to see the brothers going at it, and you could tell there was a woman in the crowd with the Padres jersey on, turned around to high-five Mr. Nola, and he was like, put his hands up like, what do I do here? Like, I don't want to high-five. I don't want to high-five you. Like, I'm excited for Austin, just got a knock, but Aaron's, just gave it up. So, it was pretty cool to watch.
Like one of Aaron's worst starts of the year. Oh, boy. That was fun. Anyway,
Dude, real quick, that jars my memory just like back the only time it ever happened when two brothers were in the infield. In 1998, my rookie year, we had just called up Stephen Larkin, Barry's brother. Yeah. And Brett and Aaron Boone were already on the team. Right. So Brett was at second, Aaron was at third, Lark was at short, and they benched me, and they were like, hey, listen, we're putting Stephen Larkin in there for first time. And Stephen Larkin played first base.
Isn't that crazy?
And it was, so like think about, that set of parents. Pretty cool to see Bob, cool. For Bob and Lark's parents and stuff. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the other matchup. Yankees, Astros. Yeah. The Yankees fans are going nuts, going, we want the Astros. Then you get Justin Verlander and a buzzsaw. Like 6 innings, 1 earned, 11 Ks. He had like 90 pitches in like the fourth and just kept dominating. Unbelievable game by Verlander.
I mean, Verlander, dude, I've talked about this before, but I was fortunate enough. There's certain guys in your career, you look back, you're like, man, I'm fortunate enough to play with Big Poppies, with Ken Griffey Jr., with certain guys you played with. And then you look back and you're like, man, I am so glad I got a chance to play with Justin Verlander. He was a rookie in 06 when we went to the World Series. And also I played with him in 07. This guy, no one prepares like Verley. I mean, in between starts, the way he prepares in the film room too, it reminds me of our podcast when we did Kurt Schilling, how Schilling was breaking, it was incredible how he's breaking it down, how he prepares every guy and attacks them and their weakness and goes to his strengths and all that stuff. Verlander's the best. So he had that, had a hiccup in the division series against the Mariners. They came out and put up, 10 hits and 4 innings off him, really got to him. You knew he was going to come back with a good one, but he just had his great stuff, man. The only hiccup he had was against Harrison Bader with that 1 home run, but 6 innings, 3 hits. How many tickets did he punch? He punched 11 tickets. Incredible, man. Incredible outing by Verlander. A game they needed, game 1. Yeah. Because you kind of felt like the Astros won that series against the Mariners, but they were playing okay. You're like, oh man, these guys are vulnerable.
No, yeah.
You saw them yesterday, and you saw, how they're built on starting pitching, and that bullpen is nasty. And Presley, their closer is filthy.
Dude,
he's filthy.
His breaking ball is unbelievable. I think what Darling said, he goes, this guy's spin is as good as anybody in baseball as far as when it breaks.
It's incredible.
One other
What was your take on the Yankees, bro? You're such a big Yankee fan. Watching that game, what do you think?
I think exactly what you've been saying for this entire postseason. Live by the homer and die by the homer. And no homers yesterday and a lot of strikeouts. How about 17, dude?
Wow.
17. Wow, you got Matt Carpenter. So here's an interesting thing. They wanted to get Carpenter at bats because they are going to need him, I guess. But they start him at DH. He goes 0 for 4 with 4 Ks, and he looked pretty. Yeah. He just looked like he hasn't played all year.
Dude, he hasn't played all year. Yeah, he hasn't played all year. Before we even get into that, on the flip side, Chinch, Astros had. Do you know how many they had strikeouts?
I do. 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
I'm just saying, bro. I've preached this for a long time. When you get to the postseason, the reason these teams are there is because they got great pitching. Yep. Great pitching always beats great hitting. Mm-hmm. It just does over the course of of time. So at the end of the day, you can't be punching out 17 times and expecting to win postseason baseball games because it doesn't get easier. I mean, the rotation for the Yankees, you know, you got Valdez coming up next. Obviously, they have Severino, but Valdez has got nasty stuff too. You know what I mean? Up and down that rotation, you're going to see McCullers, you know, up and down that rotation, man. Like, you got to be able to put the ball in play. And case in point with the Padres yesterday, you go back to that fifth inning when they scored 5, you know, it wasn't the home runs. It was like a high, you know, Kim got on, then Nola puts a good back together, he gets a hit. Soto doubles into the corner. Like, so, you know, as we watch this postseason, the Yankees are going to have to figure out a way to score runs besides the home run.
2 solo home runs, Rizzo and the best player in the history of baseball, Harrison Bader, went.
Right. Dude, he's raking. We're eating our words, Chance. We were crushing that trade about Jeff Montgomery and Bader. I don't think we were crushing Bader as much as we were saying, why do you get rid of a starting pitcher for a guy that's on the DL?
Hey,
but
guess what?
Bader's
that guy could have been starting yesterday. That guy could have been starting for you yesterday. Jordan Montgomery could have been starting that game. Look at you, Case.
Exactly. He could have been. Exactly. Exactly.
I'll give you one other bright spot for the Yankees, which I think is extremely important, and that Giancarlo Stanton is hitting. Like, hitting. He was only one. He had great at bats. He didn't. He had that. He had a laser beam off the wall that turned the outfield around 6 times. He's a key to that. He's a huge key, especially when Judge isn't performing. And we underrate Giancarlo Stanton. When he's good, he's as dangerous as anybody in baseball.
Well, he gets super hot too, you know what I mean? So for him to get 2 hits yesterday is a good sign. He had only 2 hits in the other series, but both were for homers. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, you know, if Stanton gets hot, that's huge. But you got to be able to string together hits. And like you said, you know, in the stats, 50% of the Yankees runs during the season came from the long ball. Right. So, hey, listen, at the end of the day, like when Stanton the other day got a 3-run bomb. Now, if you can get a couple guys on and a 3-run bomb, now we're talking. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you got to get those couple guys on. You got to get traffic out on the bases. And they had some traffic a couple times yesterday, but Verlander kind of shut the door on that.
Yeah. By the way, Maldonado is like a hell of a game caller, huh? The catcher.
Maldonado's great.
Dude, Darling could not stop talking about him, and you could see it, like his framing and everything he does. And there was a mound visit where they got crossed up or something, and it looked like it was later in the game. It might have been the last batter Verlander faced, and they're kind of crossed up, and they kind of got mad at each other. So they call time. Did you see this? Comes to the mound. You could tell how much Verlander respects Maldonado because they had like a full bore conversation about what pitch to throw, and I think they went with Verlander's, and he threw a nasty curveball. I think that was to strike out I think that was Carpenter's third K, whatever, but a huge spot. But you could just tell that Maldonado was like, he's a leader. And then one other thing I'll say is like, these guys are so battle tested. Like Gurriel hits that bomb. I looked up his numbers. He's played in 7 postseasons, 7 years in a postseason, and he's like a veteran. You got him. Altuve's not what he was, but he's still Altuve. Bregman scares the shit out of me. I hate like Bregman is like going to battle you every single at bat. So like they don't have the lineup that they used to have, but the lineup that they do have is a veteran. And it's athletic, and like you said, they don't strike out. It's what the Astros do. We're not taking anybody on our team that strikes out. And guess what? They go to the World Series every other year.
Putting the ball in play. I mean, you think about the Yankees' first round. They had to go 5 games to beat the Guardians, who really didn't score any runs. They didn't score any runs. But you had to go 5 games, get your, deplete your bullpen a little bit because obviously you live and die by the home run. Going back to that lineup for the Astros, you're right. And also, too, I think one of the big things when Carlos Correa, when Carlos Correa was signed with the Twins, you think, oh man, that's the postseason. How big was Correa in the postseason? So clutch, everything like that. Jeremy Pena, his replacement, has been so clutch in this postseason. He has had big hit after big hit. Did it again last night. Hit a bomb yesterday. And also, had that big bomb in that 18-inning game with the, with the Mariners. He was the guy that got the big hit late. So, that's a nice piece. Yeah. But when you look at the Astros too, the guys that had the big games, McCormick hit that home run to right center. And like you said, Gurriel. Hey man, the postseason's a different animal. To have postseason experience, you can't teach that. So when you go up and down that lineup, you go, these guys have been there, done that. Yeah. And that's a big part to have. Like you said, you saw Rizzo go deep. Well, he's got it too. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's going to be a good series. The Yankees they're not going away, dude. They're going to get, they're hoping to get this split in Houston where they can get back to the Bronx at least 1-1. That's what you want.
Right, and you make your adjustments and go for it. So there we go. Yankees tonight, and then Phillies and Pods don't play till tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern. Yeah, that'd be weird going to a baseball game at 4:30 if you're on the West Coast. Oh no, actually tomorrow they're in Philly. But they had 7:30 games. Like, it's so weird. Like, hey, what time's the game today? 4:30. That's like what your kid's high school game is.
Exactly. There's 6 fans. It's only 6 fans there.
All right,
dude. I'll tell you what though. The matchup, Valdez 200 innings pitched this year, 17-6, 282, 194 tickets punched. This guy punches out guys. So going to be interesting to see how that lineup does against Valdez. I'm
finding myself like rooting for the Phillies of all the teams. Like,
dude, I like that team.
I just like their grit. Too. Like, you talk about grit. I don't know. There's just something about it, and it's fun. Phillies, that stadium's gonna be crazy.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. And hey, listen, they did what they had to do. They got the split. You get you're on the road.
Huge.
Get the split.
Yeah,
get
on the
split.
left coast too.
1-1 coming back to Philly. I love that team too, Chinch. I just top to bottom. I just really enjoy. I think Harper sets the tone, but like just that griminess of Schwarber.
Yep.
Hoskins. I like the way he plays the game. Romuto, Castellanos. They got some good players.
And all their starters have had like adversity in their careers and like turned it around. Like Zach Wheeler was thrown away by the Mets, and look at him. He's a key cog.
Dominating.
Nola's gotten better and better and better and better. So rootable team, I will call them. Yep. All right, dude. I think that's it. We got Thursday night football tonight. It's a dog. Thursday. Here we go.
Who's tonight? Who's playing tonight?
Hold on. I should know this.
And you got an off day today too, right? So you'll just be chilling.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be chilling. What do we got tonight? Is it? Who is the game tonight?
Let me see. All the viewers out there, if you know what the game is, text it to us.
How do I know this right now? I think it's the Bears, isn't it? Wait.
No, it's right here. It's the Saints and the Cardinals.
Oh, that's right. Oh, the Cardinals are a disaster.
But Kyler Murray's fun to watch, though. I think
he is.
I mean, he's not having a great year, but I like when he runs around and slings it.
Yeah, I love that. Wait, there was something about the football I was going to bring up that I totally forgot. Oh well, I don't know. We got. I got so much Lambuski in my head. I had to get him out of my head. It was just me and him yesterday.
So my God, it's so funny.
Yeah, dude. All right.
I love it.
All right, man. What's the rest of the day, man? You going back?
I'm gonna go get a quick workout in.
Nice.
I got some things to do. Then I'm gonna go over with my dad the rest of the day.
Little cross promotion here. If you guys haven't heard Sean's interview yesterday with Jim Rome, go find it.
Yeah.
You tweet. I think you tweeted it, right? Maybe?
I tweeted it out, but dude, Romy's the best. We go back 20-some years, and talking to him more. We got into a great conversation yesterday. We were going to talk about the championship series. Next thing you know, we talked about our dads and the journey of life, and what's it all about. And it was a lot of fun. It was a great conversation. Yeah, check it out, Jim Rome podcast. It was yesterday's episode. So really, really, really enjoyed talking to Rome, and he's the best, dude. I love him. Love Jim.
We're in a podcasting fraternity now. It's like a fraternity.
That's right. Yeah, we're just a little smaller than Jim Rome. We're a little smaller than Jim Rome.
Yeah, it's a little bit. All right. Well, if you guys all like and subscribe, one day maybe we'll be as big as Jim Rome, right?
Yeah. Please like, subscribe, and also send us to your friend. 5 days a week. Let's go. Come grind with us, baby.
Let's go.
Come grind with us. Let's do it. All right, shits.
Love you, buddy.
Love you, brother. Have a great day, man. See you tomorrow.
See you.